Thank you very much indeed, Madam Speaker. I rise here this evening to acknowledge the members of the Australian Sikh community who have made great efforts to be here to witness the tabling of this historic petition. In fact, we've had members of the community travelling from all over Australia, even as far away as Canada, to be here this evening. I will not go much into the background on the events of November 1984, as the members present have been briefed, and the Sikh community is, of course, very well aware. But it's important to note that today, the 1st of November, is 28 years to the day that these attacks took place, and as long as they continue to be referred to as anti-Sikh riots, there can be no closure for the Sikh community. Discussions around mass violence and genocide will always be controversial, but the continual denial of such historical injustices can only encourage modern-day crimes against humanity. It was in 1939 when Hitler justified the persecution of Jews by referring to the killing of 1.5 million Armenians by the Turks in 1915. These few simple words he uttered to the leaders of Poland, who speaks today of the annihilation of the Armenians, led to the death of over 6 million Jews. Almost 100 years on, the Armenians are still fighting for recognition, but their cause was helped last year by 7 members of this Parliament calling for the Australian government to recognise recognition of crimes against humanity for the Armenian, Greek and Assyrian genocides. More recently, in March, this House formally recognised the killing of 7,000 Muslims in Srebrenica, in 1995 as an act of genocide. It was this event that cemented my commitment to this cause today. If the killing of 7,000 people could be recognised so quickly by world leaders, why has the Sikh community had to struggle for so long? I am aware that the Prime Minister of India has asked the victims to forgive and forget. But it seems clear to me that the events of 1984 onwards and the lack of justice has lasting wounds on the Sikh psyche. The old saying, a crime unpunished is a crime encouraged, is illustrated by the fact that those responsible for this violence, the police, the death squads, and those who authorised their actions, have never faced criminal prosecution, and in many cases they've been actively promoted. More recently, in March, this petition. I'm aware that numerous mass graves from 1984 have been discovered recently in Haryana and in other states, and these deaths, totalling thousands, are outside the official figures. There was also proof of tens of thousands of people that have gone missing since 1984, imprisoned and executed without trial outside the judicial system. I am told that people still cannot speak openly due to the pressure from the state security forces, and it was just 3 years ago that the Indian MPs were first allowed to discuss the events of 1984 in their own parliament. Close, I'd like to emphasise that this is not an attack on any particular element of Indian society. It is well known that many Sikh lives were saved through the courageous actions of Hindus, and we must pay tribute to those. This petition is asking for the Australian government to recognise that those killings fit the United Nations definition of genocide, and to urge the Indian government to take the proper legal action against those responsible. Madam Speaker, this is something that I'm pursuing because I personally feel that it is the right thing to do. I made a commitment to my dear friend Mr. Daljit Singh, who through our friendship educated me about Sikh culture, tradition and religion, and made me aware of this horrific event. That's why I've commenced this journey 2 years ago, and I hope our aims will be taken in that context. I know as well that we cannot turn back the clock, but this is part of the healing process. There are many in the Sikh community who will never forget the harrowing images in their minds and who want to see justice in their lifetime. I therefore seek leave to table this petition of 4,453 signatures, and as Madam Speaker, it is now over to the Sikh community to use the awareness that we're raising in this place here today to build momentum, to lobby their local MPs and to encourage public debate and discussion on this issue, and I certainly wish them well on their journey, and I certainly commit absolutely to working with them to achieve a just outcome.
Thank the member and the community for their attendance today. The petition will be tabled. The member for Wills has the call.
Thank you, Speaker.